Hello, everyone, and welcome to Philosophy Culture's third episode here on YouTube. I'm here with my big bro Emils.
Yes, sir. And I'm here with my big bro, Carlsson. What's up, man?
What's up? I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Man, I'm perfect.
Awesome, awesome. All right, and today we're gonna talk about the change in the world order and some subtopics that Emils maybe you want to present.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about some heavyweight stuff, man. Censorship, AI monitoring in schools, or one school in China. Then maybe will come to us in case China takes over. I don't know. And yeah, stuff like that. So check it out.
Why do you find it important to discuss how the state is controlling, manipulating, influencing, affecting its population? It depends, I guess, how you want to put it.
Well, if that is our main direction or the red thread throughout this episode, then I don't know. My answer would be, I think it's my real definition of being woke.
Mhm.
It's my personal definition of being woke, just so that you know uh, what things are like, just in reality, just so you are aware of different aspects, dangers, um, the situation we are in globally. Yeah. Along those lines would be my answer. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, I would agree with you. And I would just add to that, like, I think it's important to be critical to what is happening
Yeah.
and see the how the democracy actually is, sort of, if you want, if you can put it that way. Um, so yeah, you know,
Yeah.
I think it's important to be critical to what is actually happening and yeah, I guess viewing it from different perspectives. So
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
cool.
Uh,
So I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Like, this topic popped up in our head when we saw that, like, there was a short video on Instagram where they started to use where they in China started to use some kind of AI tools around kids' heads to
Yeah.
sort of track everything they basically did, like how like their, I think, I hope I'm not wrong, but their brain activity, their
Yeah.
focus span, um, yeah, and all kind of
How many
like,
times they check their phone? How many times they yawned during the class? Like crazy stuff like that. And
yeah,
all the students were cool with it. Like, what?
yeah,
What? Well, I guess, yeah.
yeah. So I mean, what impact do you think that kind of control or monitoring, I would rather say, uh, like, what kind of impact do you think that kind of monitoring will have on kids? And yeah,
Yeah,
and
I just think they will be even more brainwashed with like having AI technologies around their heads, like from a young age, than the older generations who have been brainwashed through all the Chinese and the communistic propaganda, that they have over there. So it's crazy. It's crazy,
Mm.
yeah. And it isn't human, like, damn, like kids are supposed to, play, be free, be curious, and like sleep during class if they want to. Would be like, that's how I feel. And like when you put some goddamn devices on the kids' heads, and I think they even had like other um, gadgets or technologies in the school where they monitor like everything, like with the kids, like with face recognition and all that crazy stuff. Yes, it's crazy.
Mm. Um,
I lost my train of thought there, but yeah.
I just had to write down some points that are just popping up in my head because otherwise I will just lose them. So that's why
Yeah,
I'm just uh yeah.
yeah. What about you? What's your kind of initial ideas, thoughts? Uh,
Oof. On that specific questions, on that specific question, I have like a lot of different thoughts and yeah, opinions. But I mean, I don't know. Like from one perspective, you can maybe see it as a tool to make the children learn, or to actually make the learning process more efficient by sort of seeing or noticing what is actually engaging them into learning. Because as we have discussed, I think we have discussed this before, but we felt that the school system is kind of old, is kind of uh,
it's outdated.
outdated.
Yeah.
Outdated,
Yes.
yeah, exactly. um so and we basically discussed like, well, we haven't discussed what could be done better, and so, but there is some obvious um signs that something needs to be updated,
For
or
sure.
something needs to be changed. And this could be a tool to try different sort of teaching styles maybe, and different activities in schools which will benefit them in learning new things, trying out stuff. uh, but on the other hand, as you said, where is their childhood? Where is their sort of creative thinking and creative behavior, or like the freedom to just develop as a human being?
Yeah.
Because when you're tracked and monitored and everything is basically recorded non-stop, then it is, I would say, most of the times used to sort of not manipulate you, but to control you or try to get something out of you, right?
Yeah. It's gonna shape you.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
is how
So I think
how
that's
how I see it. Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's a. Hmm. I mean, if that, I don't think that sort of tools will be able to, or I don't think they will have a chance to actually be used here in Europe or maybe in the US. I don't know.
Who
But
knows?
yeah, with especially like with the digital currencies and stuff, and yeah, I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah. And
Yeah.
like, just the last thing I wanna add to that exact topic with
Hmm.
the AIs is cool. Like, I think it's really it's only a dictatorship that would do such a thing. I feel like because what you are doing is trying to make robots kind of out of humans. I feel like since you are so monitored, I think you just break in a way. Like it kind of takes away your human spirit. And I've met some people from China when I studied in my last school, and like you can a lot of times feel that they're, I don't know, maybe it's just those particular people. that I have met. But it feels like they are kind of missing something. I don't know. I can't really put my finger on it, but
Mm.
they're just kind of hindered by something. I don't know. But yeah. But regarding to like if those kind of things could come to Europe or more democratic countries, it's an interesting question to maybe explore
Mm.
next. Since I assume you have watched the Ray Dalio's
Mm.
podcast, yeah, of the uh, big changing cycles of the world powers or
Mm.
world orders. Currently we are living in the American world order in a
Yeah.
sense, since the dollar is the backup currency for like I think almost all countries. And I know a few have like changed their backup currency.
Mm.
And yeah, but we can all see that like America is like going down in terms of if you look if you would look at the whole cycle in the graph, when that's a world power is like going up, then it's going down, then
Mm.
change. And I think we are in that change stage, or we are slowly arriving to that change phase. I feel like
Mm.
so it could be. Who knows? Like I really hope not. But if China like is the new like the world state. I don't know what you really could call it. But yeah, it kind of has the most power in a sense. How things would look. I don't know. I think it would be scary. I think they wouldn't really hold back on pushing out those sort of ideas and even try to enforce them in all kinds of societies. So yeah, what do you think?
Yeah. Well, I think the US has been like when you think of the biggest sort of power in the world, I think all the way since the Second World War, they
Yeah,
have been on the top. And so I think, yeah, I found that podcast very interesting because it put the whole thing into a perspective where it just swaps, and it's really hard to imagine because
yeah,
you have always been used to, yeah, like, or at least that's the feeling maybe you and I have, that
yeah,
America is on top, and yeah, like top notch. um but yeah, it's interesting. And yeah, I don't know, I've just like, I think I don't know, yesterday I think I found somewhere that China is planning on building a sort of, I'm not sure about if it's like, I'm not sure if it's called this way, but they are trying to connect multiple countries together uh, with sort of links to China. I think it's called the One Belt Road.
right, right. I've heard of it. Yeah,
Have you heard about it?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and I think that's already a sign of where the world is turning to, and especially since the US has a lot of debt. Obviously, yeah, I don't know. It will be interesting to see. Like, I don't know. It feels like there's so much going on. Like
yeah.
we have AI, like the AI is developing as crazy. We have the whole thing with China and US, and the US dollar being uh, like swapped out with Chinese yen, maybe.
Where?
I think there are already like countries. Have you heard about BRIC?
About brick,
B BRIC. the BRIC countries, BRIC countries.
No?
I think it's Brazil, Russia, India, and China.
Right.
I'm not sure about India though, or if
But
there's
like,
someone.
do you mean that those countries have like swapped out their reserve currency to
Yeah,
yen?
yeah, they are using yen
Right.
and not US dollars anymore. And I think last week I read somewhere that there are already 19 different applications or 19 countries planning on joining the BRIC countries. To actually change the US dollar with Chinese yen.
Easy.
So I don't know. I'm just thinking about the US economy. So
Yeah.
much in debt. Um, I don't know.
Yeah, and like the interesting thing is, Ray Dalio said it's the same thing in Europe as well.
Yeah.
We have a kind of not such a bad situation as they have in US. Uh,
Mm.
Not as bad, but yeah, that we kind of have the yeah same thing going on in our economy. So it's
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
crazy.
know. Yeah. The thing is that, like you start thinking about the whole war, like Russia invading Ukraine.
Yeah,
First we had the pandemic and then the war, but it feels like the war, some speculate that the war was just for Russia to sort of uh, make the EU countries more sort of
divided or
divided. Yeah. While now it seems like, I don't know, it seems like a great plan. It feels like China is exploiting this situation
for sure,
to, gain even more power.
for sure.
So it's yeah.
But it's so interesting because I've been seeing here and there the theories that China will have a hard time in the future
Mm,
because because of the because of the population collapse
mm,
uh, thing. Yeah, and I wonder how it will play out. Will they
mm,
maybe try to kind of patch that problem with maybe taking in more immigrants to kind of work for the whole China machine, so to say. But then I wonder how it will translate. It's the completely different language. I think it's pretty hard to learn, but I don't know. It will be interesting to see how it plays out. And not only in China, like we have the same thing here in Europe as well, in many countries that we aren't we aren't having as many babies
mm.
to really have a sustainable future in terms of population, like who's taking care of who. Well,
Mm, mm,
you
mm,
know how many countries have this problem of um, having more and more bigger percentage of the population being older people and
mm.
the smaller percentages younger people, and that's the kind of the whole thing in France as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Ray Dalio also said about it. Like he talked about it. Um, and yeah, I don't know. And I think last week or 2 weeks ago, like India became like the biggest like their population is the biggest on the planet.
Right.
So they surpassed, I don't know who.
China? No.
Surpassed or passed. Yeah,
Surpassed. Yeah,
yeah. They surpassed China. Yeah, China. Or I'm not sure.
yeah.
But yeah, so it will actually be interesting to see. Um, yeah, who knows? What if it will change? But I think the situation is the same in the US too.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like where the economy is heading to, like in which direction it's heading to. On the other hand, I think that more and more world leaders, perhaps, consider digitalization as a
Yeah.
solution to this problem.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think you can pay a robot and make him pay the taxes. That would just be stupid, and I don't think that's the plan. Uh, but I don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting. I wanted to say
Mm,
something, but I forgot. Yeah. Yeah. It's really fascinating. What a
mm.
what a time we are living in.
Yeah, we're living in the history,
Yeah.
and it's yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how everything is changing now, and the changes that are occurring are so huge.
Yeah, and fast as well. Like, dang,
Mm,
there cannot be a year where we can just live kind of normally,
mm,
Something big has to happen. Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah.
But yeah, but what do you think about with the world leaders? Like, what would you do if you were a world leader?
Now,
Now, yeah, if let's say of a big, powerful country.
that's a tough question. That's a tough question. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I guess a lot depends. It's kind of hard to put it that way because I think it depends a lot of like uh which which sort of um continent you are on and which sort of, like the country's economy. And it's hard to actually generalize. I mean, if I would be the president of Switzerland, then maybe I wouldn't do anything. Or I don't know. I don't even know if they have a president. Uh, but yeah, like yeah, it's kind of hard to put it that way.
Right, right. But okay. If I were to ask you the last question that Prince EA always asks his guests in the end of
Mm.
his podcast. If you had a magic wand, and
Magic
a magic wand,
wand.
this stick, this magic stick,
Yeah.
and you could wish or press spell or like make your wish come true for the whole planet, like what would it be?
I don't know how it would look like, but I would, especially since we're talking about economies and
Yeah.
countries, I would make a world without borders.
Okay.
I think that may simplify some stuff that we are dealing with right now.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So I wouldn't have this division of countries.
Mm, 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 mm.
Like that's my answer today, right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
based on
Yeah.
my knowledge so far.
No, yeah, we're just having a philosophical like conversation, so
Yeah.
nothing is wrong. But yeah, okay, cool, interesting.
So
I would,
I don't know how that would, play out, but
yes, yes.
yeah. How about you?
We can take my answer after the break.
Yeah.
I think my wish would be uh, to stop the greediness, because I think so many, if not even all, I don't know, I can't say all, but so many of our world leaders, they just they aren't. They aren't what you call it, sympathetic, or like they don't care about the people. Like they are
Mm,
after their own benefit, and like even though they have everything they can wish for. Like they have money, they have everything. They're the top 1%.
mm,
But damn, like if only that could go away, and also just among regular people, like because yeah, just greediness and like show love. I think that would solve everything because I it feels like that is the root cause of like all our problems. It feels like that because since yeah, somebody always wants to take something the other person has, and like uh, always just a bunch of sketchy business going on, like between countries, and not even yeah, and even on a smaller scale as well.
mm.
Yeah, just appreciate the smaller things, and like truly wish we could like better ourselves, move forward as human beings, as like as a whole. Like we are all one, and I think so many of the leaders just have traumas from their past, or they have been like raised in a way that they just I don't know. They are so controlling, and I don't know. Just yeah. So that would be kind of my answer.
Yeah. And I think Ray Dalio and Chris Williamson also discussed this. I think they discussed about leaders, right? Why
Yeah,
the population prefer a sort of more dominating and harsher leader, maybe in tough times,
yeah,
and
that
then
was really
more,
interesting.
yeah, and the more I don't exactly remember how he said it,
Yeah,
and that, well, a calmer one, one that can
yeah,
like establish peace, or like, yeah, keep the peace, and
yeah. Be like a more democratic in a way.
yeah, during good
Yeah,
times, yeah.
not that controlling, or you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. That was really interesting. I hadn't thought of that before,
Mm,
but it makes complete sense. But it doesn't really maybe maybe in certain countries it does make sense since
mm,
the population is so divided. So both sides want to elect someone that would really take charge and the problems and everything like that. But we aren't like necessarily in a clear war. Okay, we have a few wars going on like in the world, but they are on a much smaller scale. They aren't between like the big world powers. Not yet. Like
yeah,
in a pure physical sense, or a pure
mm,
military sense.
yeah, yeah. Well, physically speaking, they are not, but I think like economically speaking,
Yeah,
they are.
yeah,
And this, like, there's a clear competition among these yeah, I would say three biggest nations like
Yeah.
Russia, China, and the US.
Yeah.
So yeah,
So yeah, but like I think those are the if we go back to this changing of the world order thing that Ray Dalio talked about, we will link the podcast in the description as well, so that you can watch it for yourselves if you're interested. Yeah, who do you think are the biggest candidates to kind of lead the next phase of the new world order, so to say?
I don't know. To be honest, I would like to see some younger generations have that power. I mean, especially in the US, you know, it's like Joe Biden and Donald Trump. Like,
I think you misinterpreted my question.
yeah.
Uh, I was more so like aiming at countries, even though I totally agree with what you're saying. With the,
Mhm.
I was more so thinking about countries.
So, what type of leaders would I like to see?
No, not what. Who would you like to see? I would just kind of yeah, asking like what do you think? Who are the main candidates to take the charge? You know, like
Oh,
I think the main candidates are like Russia and China, right?
oh, to take charge of the world.
Yeah, the new world order, like to kind of lead the next phase,
Hmm.
the next cycle.
Yeah, I think I don't know about Russia, but I definitely think China is on its way
Yeah,
based on all the information we have.
yeah,
Whether if it's true or not, I guess time will tell. But you know, I think yeah, especially since the US have like the US has so many problems.
for sure.
Mm,
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah,
mm.
I think China is the strongest candidate, but it will be really interesting to see how they handle their population crisis.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like like China may soon be the top, like the biggest sort of economical power or whatever you want to call it, like
Yeah,
the most powerful country or nation in the world. But the question is, how long will it
last.
last? Yeah. Um, yeah, so it will be interesting. And I don't know, like, yeah. I've heard some speculations that India, um, they may have something in their sleeves, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's time for for Asia.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
No,
but
but I don't know. And then it comes down to religion and stuff like that. Like in India, you have maybe more religious persons that are, more conscious and more like focused on ethical sort of decisions. I mean, not all of them. I'm just talking like generally speaking, and maybe that's
when you when you started to when you started to speak about that, I was just thinking about all the scam centers they have there.
yeah. Well, yeah, it
But
depends from yeah, but I'm talking about like the middle class ish,
right, yeah,
and I think there were some people saying that the middle class is growing very quick uh, in India.
right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know. Like that was just a thought.
Yeah.
So
No, it's interesting. It's important to keep your eyes on everyone, kind of.
yeah,
So yeah, interesting. Yeah,
for sure.
but another way or another topic I would like to bring up is censorship,
Hmm.
since maybe even more go back to the woke discussions. But like, yeah, censorship. Think, what do you think about censorship?
What do you think about censorship? Hmm. Yeah, well, then comes the question about the freedom of speech, right? And then we could further relate it to the actual democracy that we are living in. So like I don't know. I don't know. I mean, it feels like I'm not the toughest person on earth or whatever, but it feels that some people are way too offended of all kind of basic stuff that shouldn't be offensive. And at the same time, I think the governments have become even more with that, maybe have become even more, you know, controlling when it comes to the freedom of speech.
Yeah,
But on the other hand, it could also be a sort of, like before, like there were some countries, especially in Europe, that had this more sort of uh, communist regimes. And so I think that that sort of not censorship, but limitation of freedom of speech, I would rather call it, uh, is still like has still sort of
left scars or
yeah let's go. So like it's still shit. I can't get the word. There was some. It's still like it's still prevalent, sort of,
yeah.
in today's society. And I don't think, I don't think like it will disappear too soon.
Yeah, 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 for sure. And also a really interesting thing. I watched a video um, that Russell Brand made. Do you know who he is?
Hmm.
He spoke to a man who was once hired by Chris Tucker or Tucker.
Chris Tucker, yeah.
That is his name, yeah.
Hmm.
Uh, and they discussed this whole thing with him being fired from Fox and everything, and how the more independent medias actually have more, just a bigger audience,
Hmm.
since nobody really watches television anymore, or
Yeah.
very few. And yeah, they spoke about a really interesting thing. They have like these television contracts. It was interesting. They were talking about how they are making money. So the programs don't really like their income or their yeah, that they get,
Hmm.
isn't at all related to how many people watch their shows like on television. It's like was because they get the money from the deals they sign, and the deals are like multiple year deals, like 7 years or something like that. And what that man said that was hired by Chris Tucker once, way back, was that we kind of are seeing small bits of censorship right now, but like when it's time to renegotiate their contracts, like when they maybe more so pay attention to how much power the independent media's or yeah, creators, so to say, have. That will like bring a massive wave of like censorship and all that. So it's interesting.
I think we're talking about Tucker Carlson.
That was his name, Chris Tucker. What? Damn,
Chris,
man.
yeah, because Chris Tucker is an actor. It's a comedy actor, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Who's Chris? Wait, are you thinking about Chris Rock?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, 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 he's not Chris Rock.
Who's Chris Tucker?
Um, he played in a movie with okay, this is a huge parenthesis here in the middle of the seriousness. But he played with what do you wow. I'm having a huge
Blackout.
yeah. What do you call the actor? I think he's from China. Um, he
Yeah.
played in several action movies. Come on.
Okay. Expendables. I don't know.
No, no, no. The Chinese actor that plays,
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan. Yeah, he plays with Jackie Chan in in 2 or 3 movies.
Oh, okay. I think I know. He's
Yeah,
he's a he's a black guy, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, in Rush Hour. That's how the movie is called.
Right.
Rush Hour. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, so we're talking about Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. I mean, that's interesting. And I think it will be interesting to see how the whole Twitter thing develops because I think Elon Musk is planning to do it completely like without any censorship. So like everyone can join and say whatever they want. And I think Elon Musk even have I think I've heard some rumors that he's planning to do it as like a everything platform. I don't know in which way he's or they
Interesting.
are talking about it, but yeah, it will be interesting to see.
Because right now I'm not really seeing that because I think I've seen that he's pretty active himself of like banning people from the platform.
Yeah, yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
So, but yeah, it will be interesting to see
Yeah.
uh, how those things play out. Yeah, but yeah, maybe we can kind of end the discussion on how we could fight censorship. I think that's a value we have. Is freedom,
Hmm.
and we would like to continue these discussions and like how many years in the future. The
Yeah.
English is on point.
Yeah, how we can fight censorship. I don't know. I guess just, creating really nice really nice communities of people, or like-minded, like that's our goal with the whole thing, actually. Maybe not to fight censorship, but just to create a nice community where everyone has the right to speak and show their show their emotions, say what they think, and just be open.
Yeah, exactly. But in a way, but in the same way, we are taking a stance in a
Yeah,
way.
kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, against the bullshit.
Mm, yeah.
But yeah, no, I think so too. I think it's important to uh, get as many people on board, or just in get them informed about like all this.
Mm, mm. Yeah.
And I actually got a feeling that many people know about it, or I don't know. Maybe it's
I
not
don't know
even
how many know about it. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know how many know about it, and I don't know how many are pretending that they don't know about it.
right.
Because I think a lot of people are just pretending that some stuff isn't happening, even though there are some clear signs that, I don't know what you want to talk about, but
Yeah,
the changes in certain fields are obvious.
yeah, for sure.
So, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Mm. All right. Yeah, and I don't know. Like we were talking about the world order and stuff. I don't know. I was thinking like talking maybe about digitalization, like the digital currencies and stuff, but I think we will leave that for another episode, because otherwise we will have so many different.
And we haven't even touched that.
That's the thing.
Ooh. Yeah, we will save that for another
Mm,
episode of philosophy.
yeah, exactly.
All right, guys, we really appreciate you being here with us and listening to our episode. We hope that you gain some new perspectives that will help you navigate life's spin.
Exactly. And we would find it interesting if you comment your opinions and thoughts down below. And also join our community by subscribing, so that we can further engage with each other and bounce ideas.
Yeah, bounce, bounce, bounce. Until next time.
Adios.
Yeah, okay, bro.